Alright, here goes another video. So today's topic, or tonight's topic I should say, I wanted to talk about actually a variety of topics, so it's not going to be just one for tonight, it's going to be a variety. To start off, I wanted to talk about how sometimes when you're in the deep end of shit, when you're in shit, or really going through a rough time, how you may seem invisible to others. Now, what I mean by this is, take for example when you're having, a really good time, when you can say you're like, oh, my life is the best right now, I have my dream job, the girl of my dreams, the car of my dreams, the house of my dreams, whatever. Say you're at a current point in life where everything's going right for you, so you're at like the apex of your life at that point in time. That positivity, that happiness kind of radiates around you and outwards, and it's contagious, that's why they say happiness is contagious. I'd like to say that the converse of that, or the reverse of that, or the opposite of that is also true. Not that negativity is also contagious, but that negativity can be seen around you if you're having, a really bad day. People can tell that, hey, it looks like you've had a long day, what's going on? But what I meant when I said that when you're really in the deep shit, when you're having a rough time, that you seem invisible to others, is that as opposed to happiness where it's contagious, no one wants to, take part in your misery, if that makes sense. Now, what I mean by this is that, yeah, people will go up to you and ask you like, hey, what's going on, man? You seem down. But for most people, that's about as deep as their concern is gonna go for you. You'll tell them like, oh, hey, I lost my job, my girlfriend and I broke up, my car got wrecked, whatever. But that's about as far as they'll care. They'll tell you, wow, I'm sorry to hear that, feel better soon, but that's it. Now, I'm not making the argument that people should go farther than that. Would it be a nice thing? Sure. I would argue, however, that if you want to go above and beyond just a simple, I'm sorry to hear about that, feel better, then it should be, it should come from within, that desire to do more. But regardless, when you're really depressed, for example, I found that, like, when I was depressed, I seemed invisible to people. What I mean by that is that I would go on about my life, like I said in a previous video, bills don't stop, life doesn't stop. If you're feeling down, life goes on and you have to keep moving or else you get left behind. But even when people would ask me like, oh, hey, you seem more down than normal, they would say, yeah, is there something going on? And I would be like, well, yeah, I got this going on in my life right now, I'm depressed and blah blah blah. But it seems, in my experience, it seemed like that's as far as their care went. Or even in some cases, like, I'd tell them how I was doing and it seems they wouldn't even process it, which made me feel invisible. And in general, speaking generally, to the world around you, people don't care about you. And that's just the sad fact. That's the sad reality. People only really care about others, their immediate family, and those that they can think of, I guess think of on demand. Like when you say, who do you care about the most? The people that immediately come to mind are those people they care about. And then after that, I would say most people don't give a rat's ass about, anyone else. So that's what I wanted to say on feeling invisible. The next topic I wanted to get in touch with is the vibe, the aura that certain people give off, which I guess is kind of a good tangent to go off on, since I did mention, like, you know, how happiness is contagious and vice versa for sadness, and how people don't want to be infected with sadness. At the new job I have, perfect time to talk about it. At this new job I have, there's this one older dude, and I don't want to say older like he's, you know, middle-aged or whatever, but I'd say he's like mid-30s maybe, low 40s. White dude, bald, not that it matters. Tatted, so I'm thinking he's probably out of prison. I don't know, I'm being judgmental, but this is my own analysis of it. Because at my other job, I do think a lot of the people I work with are ex-felons, ex-convicts. They give me that type of vibe, and well, it's nothing that I have confirmed with my own with my own mouth and confronting them about it. I don't want to be rude about it either, so I'll keep, you know, these kinds of analyzations to myself. But anyways, that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about is this one particular fellow that I just mentioned, where at my job, he just rubs me the wrong way. Now, to give some context behind this, I'm about 2 weeks and some change into my new job. I can say I roughly understand the basics of doing my job. And in general, I get along well with, I want to say, like, at least in the section I work in, 90% of my coworkers. But there's this one older dude who I just described, who has been working there for a while, and where I work at, seniority is a thing. You know, well, seniority is a thing really anywhere you go, right? Anyways, when he comes in, oh, he's always bitching up a storm. I shouldn't be having to do the work of others, of you new guys up at the front, blah, 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 blah. And he's always barking at others like, do this is how you're supposed to do this, blah, blah, blah. Now, granted, I recognize excellence when I see it, and he's an excellent person at doing his job. So, I'm not, you know, getting at him for doing his job. He does his job better than I do. What I'm getting at, what I don't like about him, is his vibe, the aura he gives off. Hello, raccoon. Almost ran that raccoon over. He's a very abrasive type person. He'll let you know how he feels, and he doesn't really care how you feel about it. He does get on people's nerves. He gets on my nerves. For example, it wasn't that long ago where I had to bite my tongue because he was spewing his bile in my direction. And I wasn't a fan of that, and I had to bite my tongue because I know that I have a tongue that speaks faster than my brain can control. And I really wanted to say some, you know, shit to this guy, like, fuck you, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? However, I don't know if this is a word, but I'm a realistic type of person. I'm a realist. I'm pretty sure realist is not a word, but I'm making it a word. This dude, if he really wanted to, could beat my ass. Easy. Alright? I'm 5'10". Last time I weighed myself, I'm 150-ish, 155-ish pounds. I don't have a lot of... I have some muscle, but not a lot. Not really much. This dude is at least 6 foot something. Weight definitely in the 200 range. I want to say 230. Not 230-ish. He's not fat. He's got some, like, you know, blubber on him, but he's definitely not fat, like obese. He's not like a musclehead either, but he's, you know, he's built, you know, he's big. I know for a fact if that guy wanted to, he could beat my ass easy, and there's not a goddamn thing I could do to stop that, you know, say for like a kick in the nuts or whatever. But that's not a fight I'd win, and I'm a realist, and I don't want to pick a fight I don't think I have a shot of winning, and that includes a verbal fight. Because while it's all well and good to, you know, call someone a bitch, a motherfucker, fuck you, who the fuck do you think you're talking to, you got to be able to back that shit up. And this dude, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't take nicely to someone talking to him the way he talks to others, hypocritical as it is, right? Ironic as it sounds. I don't think he takes too nicely to that, and I think he's the violent type. So I'm not looking to start shit. So I have to bite my tongue. The original point I was getting in all this before I got sidetracked in telling the story was that of a person's vibe. On the very first day I started, I knew I wasn't gonna get along with this dude. All I had to do was be around the work area for a couple minutes, hear and see how he operated, how he worked, and then I was like, all right, yeah, me and this dude are not gonna get along. And it's frustrating because when I feel people out and get their vibe, I'm like, okay, you seem like you might be an annoying person, but I'll give you a chance. Or like, sometimes I'm wrong about a person, I'll get a bad vibe from them, but then they turn around to be a really stand-up person, you know? But the point I was trying to make with vibes, sorry that I'm kind of all over the place, it's choosing music, while trying to keep my thoughts collected, but a person's vibe can tell you a lot about who they are. I guess it's also a reflection of yourself, you know, because using the example I just stated, there was this one dude from a previous job who I thought I wasn't gonna like at all. He turned out to be a really stand-up guy. The reason I got a bad vibe from him is because, and this is ironic coming from me, but he was very quiet, kind of kept to himself, didn't really talk much at work, aside from what was required because of work, like talking to customers or whatever. But aside from that, he was very quiet. And I say this is ironic and a bit hypocritical coming from him because I am the same way. But once I got to, you know, I gave him a chance. I'm like, okay, he's giving me a bad vibe, but I'll give him a chance. I want to talk to him a bit more to get to know him. Got to know him better. Turns out he's a stand-up dude. He's just a man of very few words. And that's when I was pleasantly surprised that my vibe check was off. And it's a reflection of, I think it's a reflection of who you are as a person. You know, when you try to get a vibe off a person, try to analyze their vibe, because you're projecting your own values, your own expectations onto the person. Like, okay, for example, like me, I like to say I get along with everyone, but that's not really true. I get along less well with people who are very loud, like too energetic, too up in your face, like, hey pal, how you doing, man? Like stuff like that. I'm more on the calm, relaxed, watch from the sidelines type of guy. So it's funny that I didn't think I was going to get along with this guy because, you know, he acted just like I do. Just like I do. I was pleasantly surprised to be wrong. And looking back onto it, it was a reflection of myself analyzing or putting my own expectations of him, putting my own expectations of people who I get along with onto him. And I think that in general, people, the vibe off that you give will tell a lot about people, will tell a lot about you to people around you. English is hard. You know, well, I don't know if you guys know this, but at least in my family, my parents, my elders always told me, you know, how you dress conveys a message, an unspoken message about yourself to others. Now, growing up, I believe this message. I still do to a certain extent, not so much nowadays. Like, to go off on a very small tangent, I wear sometimes obscene shirts. Obscene, by obscene I mean like anime girls showing off their tits, making weird sexy faces, kind of obscene. I don't consider that obscene, but I know the general public does. And I know people, when I wear this out in public, I know people already get like a preconceived notion about me without getting to know me. I'm not complaining about it, but I'm just saying, like, you know, this is how things work. Now to go back to the original tangent, or to the original point, my parents used to tell, or my family, everyone in my family used to tell me, you know, how you dress sends an unspoken message about yourself to others. And I would say the same thing about your vibe. Now, what I think, or what I myself define as your vibe, is how you carry yourself, how you present yourself, how you carry yourself. I wouldn't even say the way you walk, the mannerisms you have, the way you talk, your views. That all that constitutes your vibe, on varying levels. You know, some things like how you appear. You know, if you look sad, that's a major part of your vibe. You know, if people happen to see you when you're having a shit day, people will already have a preconceived notion about you that you're this mopey, depressed, kind of dopey kind of person. Whereas if, you know, they catch you on a day where you're having a really great day, you know, they might think, oh, he's a really happy-go-lucky guy. What I'm trying to make is that, or one of the points, I guess, because I am rambling. One of the points I'm trying to make about vibes is that your vibe is a way, one unspoken way of getting people around you to get a general feel of who you are as a person without you confronting them or, you know, striking them and talking to them. Water break, hold on. Alright, anyways, next point I wanted to make, or point I wanted to talk about. Love lives, old love interests. Recently in my life, I had a old fling come back into my life and talk to me after we haven't talked for a while. And I found that weird because, well, to give some context, / go on another tangent, this fling is about from a year ago. Now, in summer in America here, in summer I tend to go back to my home country, Peru. When I go back to Peru, that's when I fuck around. Where I was staying at, where I'm from, specifically in Peru, at one point in time, there were 2 females I was talking to at the same time. Both with the ulterior goal of having one of them as my girlfriend, and I put girlfriend in air quotes because I was only there for a short time, so if you get what I'm saying, it's kind of stupid to say girlfriend if I'm going to leave in a while, but that's besides the point. There were two of them that I was talking to at the same time. One of them became my girlfriend at the time. The other one I stopped talking to. Though I did go, I'm not ashamed to admit that I did go on separate dates with them with both of them at the same time until I decided on one of them. But that's besides the point. The point is, the one that I didn't end up choosing, that I just kind of stopped talking to, she ended up hitting me up out of nowhere about 2 weeks ago. I want to say, yeah, out of nowhere, and decided like, oh hey, stranger, how are you? And for me, I'm the kind of person who finds that stuff kind of weird, because the way I rationalize it is, what do you want from me? I'm the one, in this situation, I'm the asshole. Usually it's the girl who has her fun with the guy and then says, okay, peace. But no, in this case, it was me. I was the asshole who had the fun with the girl and decided that, okay, I've had my fun with you, now I'm going to drop you. But she came into my life again, just random texts, and we've been texting on and off. Now, full disclaimer, I'm not texting her like I want anything to do with her. I abide by this rule with, for females in general that I'm not interested in, but I guess you could say I'm friends or acquaintances with. If you send me a message, I'll wait like a couple minutes to respond to you, because to be honest, there's probably more important things that I'm doing than responding to you. After I respond to you, that's it. Next time you respond to me is when I respond to you. If you don't respond to me, you leave me on red, cool. That'll be that. So there's some times between me and this girl where we text back and forth, and then she just doesn't respond until days later, and then, we pick it back up. But for me, it was a bit jarring to have her come back into my life, because one, I was the asshole in that situation, what happened between us. But she didn't even bring it up, which is another thing which I think is weird, because in all my experiences with women, they're very vindictive. Women are very vindictive. I found. You do them wrong and they'll let you know that you've done them wrong. Yet, that doesn't seem to be the case for this particular woman. Or if it is, she just is not bringing it up, or I guess is hoping that I bring it up, or that I say sorry. I'm not sorry. And I've, in a roundabout way, asked her, like, okay, like, what is this about? Why are you back into my life? And she said, to help you with English. Because, well, anywhere you go that's not an English-speaking, or doesn't have an English majority-speaking nation, people, you'll find people are very interested in you teaching them English. And this also applies to when you want to talk to women in foreign countries, anywhere you want to go. South America, Spanish-speaking countries, Asian, Japanese, Chinese, anywhere you go, I bet you there's a girl there who wants to learn English, and you can use that as a, as a tactic to get yourself to talk to women. But that's not what I'm talking about tonight. I asked her, just like, are you talking to me again because you want me to teach you English, or what? No, it's okay. So I'm always on guard about when women come back into my life, especially if I'm the asshole in the situation. In my personal experiences, nothing good ever comes of it. For the most part. Now, I do talk to two of my old exes. When I say old, I'm talking about it's been years. One of them already has 2 kids of her own. Has a fiance. The other one, she doesn't. But I talked to them, no kids, no husband or anything, single like I am. She's my favorite ex at all. The one without a kid, without kids in this. She's my favorite ex at all. She's like my best friend. But that's besides the point. The other one, she's also like my best friend. We go way back from high school. But those were the only 2 exes I talked to, and they were my really good friends. And every other ex that I have, I'm very wary about them whenever they try to get back into my life, or they need something of me, or they ask something of me. Because I'm the type that's always like, what do you want from me? What do you need? What's your ulterior motives? I'm just always on edge and suspicion about that. So that's all I had to say on that point about old flings and whatnot. And I guess to end this video off before it hits the 30-minute mark, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Alan. Alan, you know who you are. Thanks for keeping in touch. We gotta hang out soon. Sooner than later. You're one of the real ones, despite the age gap difference between us. In general, before I end out this video, I want to do more of these. It's kind of hard to keep my thoughts on track. I think for the next one I'm gonna want to beforehand write down like what I want to talk about on pen and paper, and then read off of it, like read down from my list and then talk about it as the video goes on. I guess this is what video people do, YouTubers do. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just a dude who's talking about what's bugging him, whatever's on his mind. Who goes on drives and likes to, you know, have music playing in the background while he talks about what's bugging on his mind. Sorry, I had to take a hit of my THC pen. That's the other trick. Gotta be high for this shit. Damn. Fuck. Woo! Yeah, listen. I got bitch-made lungs. That's because I'm asthmatic. And before you fuckers say, you're asthmatic, why the fuck are you vaping? Especially during Corona. Listen, I'm a firm believer in free will, in owning up to the choices you make. This is the choice I make. I want to get high. This is the price I pay. I'm okay with it. We will run this rent. We made it. Not really though, but who cares? Anyways, that right there was a choice I was willing to make. It was free will. I believe people should do within reason whatever the fuck they want to do. You know, I'm not saying you should kill people because you want to kill people. You know, to go on that extreme end, but if I, as an asthmatic, want to smoke, I have that choice. I know there are consequences to these actions, but I accept them. Besides, personally, I find I'm much more creative and talkative when I'm high. But all that is besides the point. Everyone, thanks for if you got this far. Thanks for listening in and listening to a man rant about various topics. Next video should be out fairly soon. As I said, I do want to do this more often, get more off my mind, go out on drives more, because it's a very relaxing thing for me to do. Yeah, that's it. Peace.